interesting topic, reflection of light. So what basically reflection of light is? Whatever we observe in our homes, in our daily mirror, is the reflection. Okay, so we are going to see spherical mirrors, terms related to spherical mirrors, drawing the reflected ray, rules for drawing a ray diagram. So this is what basically reflection is. What is reflection? Reflection is something that is light falling on the mirror. You are able to see those reflected rays as an image. This image is a virtual image which we see in plane mirrors. So this is a normal phenomenon which we undergo every day and which is a basic example of reflection. After this, we are going to see the types of mirrors which make this reflection possible. Okay, so there are basically two types of mirrors, plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. Understanding this is very important. If you understand this basic concept very properly, you will be able to understand the formation of images, and there will be no need to learn these charts to by heart it. You will be able to observe all the objects and their images very properly. Okay, so first part is the plane mirror which we observe in our day-to-day life. Second is the spherical mirror, which has two types. First one is the concave mirror and convex mirror. So try to locate the blue shaded region which tells you which one is the reflective surface. Okay, depending on the reflective surface, they are identified into two types. Okay, so the reflective surface, when it is inside the curve, it is concave mirror, and when the reflective surface is outside the curve, it is convex mirror. Okay, this is also a phenomenon which we see that when we raise our right hand, it appears that we raise our left hand in the mirror. So this is the plane mirror image formation.
Hello, teacher. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is plane mirror. These are the properties of plane mirrors. The first one is the image is upright. The image is the same size as you are. The image is located as far behind the mirror as you are in front of the mirror. Okay, so you can see the distance capital O towards the mirror, which is a perpendicular drawn. Okay, so the red perpendicular till the perpendicular, the distance is same. Okay, after that, the distance behind the mirror, you can see O and I. Okay, it is written. So these two distances are same. Now this is the conceptual example which we have seen by the statement. Okay, so just try to identify it. Full length versus half length mirrors. In figure, a woman is standing in front of a plane mirror. What is the minimum mirror height necessary for her to see her full image? Okay, so we have seen the statement that what should be the size of the mirror so that a person can view its full image. So it is half. Okay, the statement says that it is half. So this is the statement specifically In order to see the full image of a person standing in front of a mirror, then the minimum height of the mirror must be half the height of the person. Okay, so the mirror's height should be half whatever is the height of the person. Okay, so we don't have a whole wall fitted mirror. Okay, we have small mirrors, and yet we are able to see our full image in that mirror because they undergo this statement. Okay, then we saw laughing chambers. Okay, why the images in laughing chambers do not reflect as it is? They undergo some changes because laughing chambers use spherical mirrors, that is, they use curved mirrors. Sometimes they use concave mirror or convex mirror. So the images of the mirrors in laughing chambers look like above images. Okay, so you know that the person must be looking very fine. Okay, everything is well. Okay, he's a normal person, but while appearing in the images undergo some changes. These mirrors are different from the mirrors we have at home. Okay, yes, these are not plain mirrors, so these are spherical mirrors. That is, they are curved, they have some curve. The images formed by curved mirrors are different from those of plain mirrors. Because of this, we do not see familiar images of these mirror. Okay, familiar images means whatever we are, same is not reflected, some changes are there. Okay, so these are spherical mirrors. So we will see what is spherical mirrors. So this was an example that if we cut a rubber ball into two parts as shown in the figure, we can see each of the two parts as two types of surfaces. Okay, so generally spherical mirrors are parts of the hollow sphere like the part B in the figure. The inner or outer surface of this part is coated with a shiny substance to produce spherical mirror. Yes, we have seen that the shiny substance is present in the plane mirror also. Okay, so that it does not remains transparent like a glass, it becomes opaque. Okay, so these shiny substances are coated in different parts. Okay, so for concave mirror it will be coated inside, and for convex mirror it will be coated outside. You can see the brown part which is inside, okay, of the rubber ball, and this is called as concave mirror. While in B section you can see that the black part is coated outside, so that is the convex mirror. Reflection of light takes place either from its outer or inner surface. Thus, there are two types of spherical mirrors. Okay, so this is the very common example, and I want you all to focus on this example. If you remember this example very well, you will be able to differentiate the concave and convex mirrors. Okay, the inner surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface. Then it is called concave mirror. Solar furnace, which uses concave mirror. Convex mirror, the outer surface of the mirror is the reflecting surface, and this is called as convex mirror. So this is the side mirror of the vehicle, which we see every day. Just write down this example. Okay, then we will go towards the terms related to the spherical mirrors, which is again the radius of curvature, CA and CP. Center of curvature is capital C. Principal focus is the whole line, and P is the pole of mirror. Okay, the center of the mirror surface is called its pole. P is the pole of the mirror in the figure. Center of curvature, the center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the center of curvature of the mirror. C is the center of curvature of the mirror, and C, it is denoted by capital C. Okay, radius of curvature, the radius of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the radius of curvature of the mirror. Okay, so just relate this diagram with your circle diagram. Wherever you write as the center of the circle, you can take that point C and denote it as center of curvature for in case of spherical mirrors. Here the normal radius of the circle becomes the radius of curvature for the spherical mirrors. And you can denote that point P is the pole of the mirror. Okay, the radius of curvature, the radius of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the radius of curvature of mirror. The length CP or CA in the figure is the radius of curvature of mirror. Principal axis, the straight line passing through the pole and the center of curvature of the mirror is called the principal axis. So PM is the principal axis. PM is the principal axis of the mirror in the figure. So what about principal focus? Incident rays which are parallel to the principal axis. Okay, incident rays which are parallel to principal axis of the concave mirror after reflection from mirror meet at a particular point in front of the mirror on the principal axis. So this point F is called as the principal focus, and this the principal focus of a concave mirror. In case of convex mirror, incident rays parallel to the principal focus after reflection appear to come from a point behind the mirror, lying along the principal axis. So this point is called principal focus of the convex mirror. So it is different in case of concave mirror and convex mirror. Just try to understand the difference, that from where the incident rays are parallel. In case of concave mirror, the incident rays are parallel to the principal axis of concave mirror, while in the case of convex mirror, the incident rays are parallel to the principal focus, and that too after reflection. And this is our last term, which is focal length. The distance F between the pole and the principal focus of the mirror is called the focal length. The distance is half of the radius of the curvature of the mirror. Okay, so you can identify C, F is written in between, P is there. Okay. After this, we are going to study drawing the reflected rays. Mn is a spherical mirror. Just try to locate the capital letter M and N in the diagram. So the Mn, you can see the lines of reflection. Whenever the incident ray and the reflected ray fall inside the curve, it is called as concave mirror. When it falls outside the curve, it is called as convex mirror. Okay, ray AQ is incident. Ray AQ is incident on it. CQ is the radius, and therefore is perpendicular to the mirror at Q. So whatever terms we have studied, we are applying all these terms, that is the center of curvature, the principal axis, the focus, all these terms we are applying on this diagram. Okay, so this is the actual spherical mirror in which we are studying all the rays. Okay, incident ray, reflected ray, then the angle AQC is the angle of incidence. According to reflection, angle of incidence and angle of reflection are of same measure. Okay, this we have studied, that the angle of reflection and the angle of incident both are same. They are congruent. They are equal. Thus, while drawing a reflected ray QB, angle CQB must be equal to the angle AQC. Okay, so while drawing the diagram, take care that it is visible that the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection both are same. Okay, now I have taken these diagrams from your textbook itself so that you people will be able to identify. These are very important rules. This is the gist of your reflection chapter. If you understand these three rules, you will be able to draw these diagrams very properly. you can be able to understand the incident ray and the reflection ray, every property very properly. So please pay attention, write these rules, draw these diagrams again and again, so that you people will be able to draw all the diagrams for the 6 cases of the position of the object and position of the image. Okay, so this rule is very easy, very simple. If an incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through the principal focus. So try to locate the incident ray first, find out the incident ray in the given diagram. How to identify an incident ray? And ray which is having an arrow headed towards the curve, okay, towards the spherical mirror, is called as incident ray. Try to identify it. Then which one will be the reflected ray? The ray which is having an arrow outwards from the spherical mirror, outward from the curve, is called as reflected ray. Okay, we have studied how to plot CFP. Okay, how to plot CFP? First, we are going to draw a single line. Then we are going to place 0 at the point C. We are going to place F and P equidistant. Okay, so if CF is 3 centimeter, FP will also be 3 centimeter. If you want to draw big diagram, you can take CF as 4 centimeter or 5 centimeter, but try to keep the same distance between CF and FP. Okay, so what is this easiest rule? It says that if an incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through the principal focus. Okay, now this is rule 2. If an incident ray passes through the principal focus, okay, you can see the incident ray. The name is written besides the ray. What is incident ray doing? It is passing through the focus. So if it passes through the focus, what happens to the reflected ray? Reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Go through these diagrams again and again. Try to understand what the rule says. Try to draw these diagrams again and again. Okay, so this is the rule 3. If an incident ray passes through the center of curvature of the mirror, the reflected ray traces the same path again. Okay, so you can see both the arrows on a same ray. The arrow headed towards the spherical mirror and the arrow headed outwards to the spherical mirror. So incident ray and reflected ray are one and the same when the incident ray passes through the center of curvature. When the incident ray passes through the center of curvature, that is capital C. Okay, on basis of this, we had drawn all these images: position of the object, position of the image, nature of image, size of the image. Try to place these objects between the given positions, that is between the pole and focus. What you will get? The position of the images behind the mirror. Nature of the images erect and virtual. Size of the images magnified. Okay, if you understand the position of the object, position of the image, you will be able to understand how the nature of images. Try to visualize it, try to find out in your diagrams. Observe these things. If you place your position of the object at focus, position of the image is at infinity. Nature of image is inverted and real. Size of the image is large. Okay, between focus and center of image, center of curvature, if you place your object, where you get your image, it is beyond the center of curvature. Nature of image is inverted real. Size of the image is magnified. Position of the object when placed at center of curvature, position of the image is at the same at the center of curvature, but how it is inverted? Inverted real, same as the object. When the position of the object is beyond the center of curvature, position of the image is between the center of curvature and focus. Nature of the image is inverted real. Size of the image is diminished. What is the position of the object? If it is at infinite distance, what happens to the image? Image is found at focus. So you can see that the second case which we studied, okay, it is inverse of this sixth one. If you place your object at focus, you get the position of the image at infinity. But when you place your object itself at infinity, that is too far from the center of curvature, where you get your image, you get your image right at the focus. How you get your image? It is inverted, real, and point image. Okay. Now we are going to study the concept of divergence and convergence of light. So this is a activity which is very easy activity which helps us to identify the difference between divergence and convergence. Okay, so can you see these two styles of sticks placed in front of you on the screen? Okay, where the red headed portion at one figure, it is arranged as the heads are outside. Okay, and in the second image, the heads are concentrated. Okay, they are converging at one point. Okay, they are trying to get towards one single point. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to take only 5 sticks from the matchbox, arrange them so that their heads come together at a point. Okay, in this arrangement, the head of matchsticks are said to have converged. Okay, wherever they come together at a point, you have to say that they are converged. Okay, and now arrange the sticks so that their uncoated ends are together at a point and the heads are spread apart. Okay, this is the first one. In this arrangement, the heads are diverging from the point. So this is what is convergence and divergence. When they come together at a single point, it is called as convergence. And when they are spreaded in the atmosphere, they are apart from each other, it is called as divergence. Okay, so the image is produced by a plane mirror is a virtual image. The image is produced at a point which the reflected light ray appear to diverge. So you can see this figure 11.2b. This image cannot be obtained on the screen as the rays do not actually meet. You can see the convex mirror written in the figure, and the figure below the convex mirror is the figure which we are studying right now. You can see that all those reflected rays are extended by dotted lines and they appear to meet at some point which is called F, but they are not actually meeting. As we are extending it, the image is virtual image. So this image cannot be obtained from the screen. So the rays do not actually meet here. When light rays collect at a different point after reflection from the spherical mirrors, they are said to converge there. Okay, so they are said to converge there. When we want to bring light rays together at a point, a converging light beam is used. Doctor used such a beam to converge light on a tooth, ear, nose, whatever that ENT specialist doctor uses it. Okay, so equipment using solar energy also use converging light. When light rays starting from a point spread out after reflection by a spherical mirror, light is said to be diverged. When we want light is said to be diverged, that is when we want light rays to spread out from a source, a divergent beam is used. And as for example, it is a street light. So what is the example of convergence? Example for convergence are the lights, beams which the doctor uses, which an ENT specialist, that is ear, nose, and specialist uses. Okay, and what is the example for divergence? The street light is an example for divergence. So like this, you can find many examples for convergence and divergence. You can enlist many examples for convergence and divergence. Okay, just write this concept in your notebook and write down as many examples as you can write for this. Okay, again, we will see that which mirror undergoes convergence and which mirror undergoes divergence. You can see the concave mirror diagram. Okay, they are all the reflected rays are coming towards one point and it is F. So they undergo convergence. Whereas in convex mirror, all the rays are reflected. Okay, they are spread in the atmosphere. What we have to do to get the image, we are extending all those reflected rays behind the mirror, and then we are getting a point F, and that is called as divergence. So do remember this, which mirror undergoes convergence, which spherical mirror undergoes convergence, and which spherical mirror undergoes divergence. Okay, spherical mirrors are a curved mirror formed by a part of hollow glass sphere with a reflecting surface. There are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, another is convex mirror. So a concave mirror is a curved mirror with a reflecting surface on the hollow side. Convex mirror is a curved mirror with a reflecting surface on the outer side. Okay. So this is a very interesting thing, a very interesting question and very well answered. So how will you find out if a mirror is a concave or convex? The special mirror which is used for shaving is a concave mirror. When held close to the face, it gives vertical and larger image of the face. If the same mirror is taken farther away from the face, the image gets smaller and smaller. This you might have observed in the saloons. Okay. The mirrors used in the cars and motorcycles are convex mirrors. In these mirrors, the image of the face is erect and smaller, and it remains erect but becomes smaller and smaller when the mirror is taken away from the face. As a result, we can see the images of the surrounding also in the mirror. Thus, we can determine the nature of the mirror by studying the images produced by them. For understanding these things, first you have to be able to identify what is convergence and divergence. When the light rays coming from an object enter our eyes, we can see the object because while passing through the lenses in our eyes, the rays converge and the image of the object forms on the retina of our eye. The image formed by the light rays actually converging at a point is a real image. A real image can be obtained on the screen. While a virtual image, it seems that it is behind the screen. I hope you understand convergence and divergence. Okay, so we will recapitulate whatever we have learned. We will just revise. How will you find out if a mirror is a concave or convex? When a mirror is held close to a face, it gives vertical and larger image of the face. If the same mirror is taken away from the face, image gets smaller and smaller. Such mirrors are called concave mirror. In convex mirror, the image of a face is erect and smaller, and it remains erect but becomes smaller and smaller when the mirror is taken away from the face. Thus, we can determine the nature of the mirror by studying the images produced by them. So what is vertical? The image which is straight is called as vertical. What is called erect? What is the meaning of erect? The image is straight and appears to be tall. Okay, slightly greater than its height. So that those images are called as erect. Now the next question is, why are concave mirrors used in solar devices? So concave mirrors are used in solar devices to collect heat radiations. Okay, so what it undergoes convergence. Heat radiations coming from the sun are from the infinity. They are brought to the focus by concave mirror in its focal length. Okay, in its focal length. If you hold a page of a book in front of a mirror and we see laterally inverted letters in the mirror, why does it happen? We have seen the lateral inversion. Okay, so what answer is to be returned? It happens because image is virtual and lateral inversion takes place. Okay, plane mirror undergoes virtual image. So what happens? Because the image is virtual and lateral inversion takes place. Okay, which letters, if English alphabet, from the images that look same as that of original, okay, they do not change. So these are the letters: capital A, capital H, capital I, M, O, T, U, W, X, Y. These are the letters which do not undergo lateral inversion. You can write these letters on a piece of paper and stand in front of the mirror. These letters will never undergo lateral inversion. Okay, why does obtaining the image of a sun on the paper with the help of a concave mirror burn? Okay, this is an activity which you people have performed in 4th standard. Okay, so what happens when you hold such kind of glass in front of the paper, and why this paper starts burning? So we will see its scientific reason. Concave mirror, being a converging mirror, focuses the light rays coming from the sun at a single point, due to which paper starts burning. While trying to obtain the image of the sun, due to which paper starts burning while trying to obtain the image of the sun on the paper with the help of concave mirror. Okay, so they use the phenomenon of converging, and this converging of the sun rays at a single point causes the paper to burn. If a spherical mirror breaks, what type of mirrors are the individual pieces? If a spherical mirror breaks, the individual pieces will be spherical mirror. Okay, if a plane mirror breaks inside our home, do we see laughing mirrors generated from those plane mirrors? No. Okay, the mirrors remain one and the same. So if it is a spherical mirror and if it breaks, so all the individual pieces will also form a spherical mirror. Okay, this Samir visited Nehru Science Center, Worli, Mumbai, and there he saw mirrors which have distorted images of his face. All his friends started laughing on seeing the image. Explain why his face got distorted. So what happens in normal plane mirrors? Normal plane mirrors reflect perfect images, whereas curved mirrors reflect distorted images. Samir's face in the mirror looked distorted because it was a curved mirror. Okay? Because it was a curved mirror. Okay, these are some questions. Choose the correct options. The mirror is a dash surface. Okay, diverging, reflecting, refracting, or opaque. So it is a reflecting surface. Always the mirror is a reflecting surface. The mirror we use to see ourselves is plane mirror. The images observed by the plane mirror is always virtual and erect. Okay, when you stand in front of the plane mirror, what it seems that the image is forming behind the mirror, so it is called virtual, and your head remains upside only. Okay, the position of the head doesn't change, it doesn't goes downward, so the image is erect. The images formed by the plane mirror is of the same size as the source. Okay, same size, they do not change. While standing in front of the mirror, what should be the minimum height of the mirror? Dash with respect to your height to see your full image. Okay, so whatever is the height of the person, the mirror should be half the height. Okay, mirror should have half height with respect to the height to see the full image. In dash mirror, the inner surface of the spherical mirror is reflecting. In concave mirror, okay, the inner surface is reflecting, whereas in convex mirror, the outer surface is reflecting. Light is dash, which causes sensation of vision. So light is electromagnetic radiation. It is neither a microwave radiation nor a UV radiation. Okay, and it is perfectly an electromagnetic radiation which causes us to see all the things, which gives our eyes the power of visibility so that we can see all the things around us. A ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection from concave mirror passes through. Okay, so this is the one of the rule which we have studied from the 3 rules. So what happens to a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection from the concave mirror? Passes through the focus. Okay, it passes through the focus, that is capital F point. The light ray when strikes any surface is called incident ray. Is called incident ray. The light ray when strikes any surface is called incident ray. The image which is behind the mirror and thus cannot be obtained on a screen is called virtual image. Now these are the definitions which are related to the terms of the spherical mirrors. If you can draw a diagram, if this question comes in your exam, you can draw a small diagram of a circle and you can write those, highlight those things by writing capital letters. Okay, so when asked for defining a pole, the center of the mirror surface is called its pole. Principal axis, the straight line passing through the pole and the center of curvature of the mirror is called principal axis. Center of curvature, the center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the center of curvature of the mirror. 3 mirrors are created from a single sphere. Okay, which of the following, pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, will be common to them and which will not be common? Try to understand this question. If you have understood everything of this lesson, okay, you will be able to understand if you have what happens when 3 mirrors are created from a single sphere. Okay, when 3 mirrors are taken from a single sphere, what are the common points? Center of curvature, radius of curvature. Okay, these will remain same, center of curvature and radius of curvature. What are uncommon things? Pole, principal axis. Okay, pole will change and the principal axis will be different for all the 3 mirrors. This lesson is all about diagrams, all about incident ray, reflected ray, learning properties of them. Try to draw all the diagrams so that you will be able to identify the difference between the position of the object and the position of the image, and you will be able to clearly visualize all its properties, whatever the image will have after positioning the objects at different places. So this lesson requires practice, requires lot of revision. If this revision done very well every day, you will be able to understand this lesson. No need to learn it by heart it. You will be able to memorize it. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day.